Oh, I love the 80s. What a time that was. So, I'm back to the forge, part 3 of that butcher's block, where we will see a dramatic difference from what some are calling a pile of firewood to a thing of beauty. So let's get down there. Okay, my friends, welcome back to the Scott Reed Project, day 3 of the butcher's block. And well, Ollie's been working hard. There are our chains of blocks. Obviously you can see the full ones need splitting in half today, which is what we're going to do now. Do you want to just tell us how we got here, Ollie, and what you've been up to?
Right, so we kind of left off with cleaning up this one. This is all the ones we've done earlier. So I've done them as doubles because it means less wastage. Because we're probably going to end up cutting half a block away, and yeah, it's quite an efficient way of doing it, especially get more in the clamps. They do come with a bit of curving. It doesn't really matter. We'll chop that in half. That'll take some of the curve out, and then once we've run these through the bandsaw and things, they'll be looking a bit tidier. This one here, so you know, we have to start obviously take on board all the comments and feedbacks that, you know, come to a channel along the way. So I did notice that a few people had mentioned that we hadn't made it out of maple, which you know, maple syrup wood, hard maple, rock maple. So I thought, well, we'll put a token bit of maple in. You know, you can do all your work over that bit of maple then, and we won't get any sort of.
Just chop over that bit and use the rest of something cool.
And then we won't get the bacteria and infections and all that. You know. Yeah. So our next job now, we've got a bit of a pile to get through. These have all got to be cut in half, and then basically we've got to get them looking like this. So we're going to go through the bandsaw just to get all the high spots off, then get on the sandpaper, and by the end of the day I'm hoping we'll be ready to glue it up into one big block, so it'll look a bit like this but twice as high and without big gaps.
So yeah, like at the end of the day you're wanting like 13 or 14 of those for the glue?
Yeah, I mean it was still probably not quite as wide as it was to begin with, sure. But that's probably enough to get enough for one day's work, I think.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, mate. Another classic bit of British engineering here, isn't it? What we got, mate?
So this is a hand sander jointer. You can make one of these at home. Right, this doesn't exist. There is no machine that does this. I mean, well, you can get a belt sander, but for what we want to do, you know, these are getting on 5 inches. The belt sanders kind of don't really go up above an inch. You know, sorry, 4 inches wide. So this is the only really way of doing it. But you can do this at home. Bit of worktop, because they are the flattest thing you'll probably have to come by easily. If you get a bit of granite worktop, even better. And then you just got to clamp and tension the paper, and you'll see this is. Dead easy to do and get a finish on.
Perfect. So what we need to do then, just to make life a little easier for us, obviously all this glue is rock hard. We're just going to use the belt sander to take that off, and that'll save us hand sanding, I suppose, because we got a lot to get through.
So this board we're recycling, we're upcycling. I mean, I get a lot of this. You know, people bring ironwork to me and ask for it to be sort of reconditioned or turned into something new, and they don't like it when I say, you know, actually we'd be better off just starting from fresh. And did I not say that, you know, when we started this board?
Yeah.
You know, really, you know, if we're talking about sort of cost effectiveness and speed and that sort of thing, and having potentially what could be a better quality product, you know, would be better buy an instant beech or some maple
Yeah.
and do it properly and start again. But you know, we're most of the way in now.
It's a project, you know, that's
yeah.
you've got to think of the bigger picture.
But so I was sticking this through a bandsaw, saw a few sparks, and I found a drill bit inside it. So obviously, you know, chappie that had this before you, or chap-S, decided to do a bit of drilling in there, broke the drill bit, and rather than fish it out, just left it in there for us. So I think,
So potentially expensive on the.
well,
saw?
I might now have to pull off 5 meters of bandsaw blade and replace it. Yeah, which we'll just have to see. We'll see how it cuts. We might get away with it, but
Oh, the joy.
yeah. That's the first one done. Both sides, got all the pencil lines out. Again, don't worry about what's on top. By the time we glue this all into the big block, you'll have lots of more glue spillage and that sort of thing. But the important thing is that face is dead flat. You can see we've had a bit of an upgrade on the paper, so we're doing a nice job now. It's efficient. We're getting there fast. We just got another, how many of these to go?
14?
Something like that. So 14 both sides. There's a fair old bit of sanding to go, but yeah, we'll get there.
And then go home and lie down in a dark room in the fetal position and then
I think
cry.
so, and see how many fingers we've got left. Yeah. Bit of a screw hole in there, eh?
Yeah. Here we've got a square block. It's looking pretty close to what it's going to look like when it's finished now, in terms of dimension anyway. We've got a little bit narrower than what we were before. We knew that was going to happen. Every time we put a saw cut through or sand it or bandsaw it, whatever we do, we lose a bit of material every single time, and there's a lot of processes on this, so there's a lot of wastage in that respect. But you know, we're already doing a good job in recycling or upcycling, so I'm not too upset about that. We've used pretty much everything we can. Yeah, we're not going to put it on the fire, are we?
No. I mean, like, the only bits we're going to actually use as kindling for Scott's new stove is some of the wafer thin offcuts, which won't go very far. So every one of these has been sanded on one side now, so you can see that's finished, ready to joint. It looks absolutely fantastic, and most of that's Scott's handiwork. He hasn't got any fingertips left, but you know, the sacrifices have to be made.
You know, that's like proper work. I'm not used to it.
That's what we're left with on the other side, though. So again, we've got to run through all this again now. Take the wafer thin slices off with the bandsaw, get it back on the sandpaper. That'll be ready to glue up this afternoon into one solid-looking block. And doesn't it look good?
It does. And I think we should do one more thing before we start that. Have a brew.
Have a brew, yeah.
You know, like we're English, every good decision is made over a brew.
I think every bad decision is made over one as well so far, isn't it? But, I mean, we might have been a little bit, you know, I've got to admit, you know, I have made a mistake in this. This should have been a little bit wider, but somehow pencil and tape measure got the wrong way around, and we ended up taking
Yeah.
30mm off the width of it,
Do
but
you remember that old adage, measure twice, cut once?
yeah.
Well, we both failed, bro. Okay, so as you can see then, it's looking a little different. A little more way to go, Ollie, haven't we? But what we've done is now, between the pair of us, sanded
Mainly Scott, to be honest.
both sides of these. I mean, that's a beautiful looking piece of wood now, isn't it?
That's good enough to eat off.
Yeah.
That's fit for a king, that
It's
is.
beautiful. So, Ollie, you can explain what we're going to do next. You're on about arranging the faces, aren't you?
Yeah, so this is our last opportunity to get all these joints orientated, so that, you know, like I said in earlier videos, we're going to stagger all these so that we've got maximum strength. We haven't got any joints, I don't know if you can see that in there, but I haven't got maximum strength, so we haven't got joints overlapping like that. But also we want to set it up so, again, if blocks in there do decide to cup, they're not all going to cup and it's not going to misshape the whole board. So you can see there we've got a bit going that way, a bit going that way, just really sort of randomise it a little bit and yeah, get it looking tickety-boo.
So you want to do that now?
So we'll do that now.
And then we can number.
Yeah, and then
how they go in like
that's it, yeah.
Like a Rubik's cube.
Yeah, because actually to glue all these up, we're going to have to lie these down. It's going to take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
So if we get the clamps set up to size anyway first, at least we haven't got lots of opening and closing of the clamps.
So just give us a quick idea what you're thinking here then, just if you looked at this quickly, what you explain, you know, what you mean.
Well, we've thrown in some bits of maple.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, we've been talking about your hygiene and all that sort of thing, and, you know, we've put a token effort of maple in there. We've got some bits of old oak, bits of oak that we've reclaimed from this job, bits from the sides that we've taken off without the WD-40, I hasten to add.
What's wrong with a bit of WD-40?
Well, you know, I put it in my tea most days, but so we'll have a look now, see what best positions to get the patterns in.
Can we just talk a little bit? We got 2 more chains to go in. It's a bit of a surprise, isn't it? We're going to do something real fancy that will sit in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to save this till last, I think.
Yeah.
We'll just wait until it's revealed as a finished piece.
And it'll really set it off.
Yeah, basically, we're going to keep with the theme. We're not going to go for anything major, but we've got some super special bits of oak to put in there. We've got a bit of purple heart. I mean, purple heart, it's sustainable, but it's beautiful. It's got a bit of SRP about it, I think.
Yeah.
So we're going to put a centre section in here, which means that when we glue this up, we've got to make a conscious effort not to get any glue down in this middle joint, wherever that is, because otherwise we're going to have more sanding and sawing to do.
You've got 13 there, so.
Yeah, maybe we'll discard one or something. We'll have a think about that.
Yeah. Okay, mate, so let's get the clamp set up and have a bit of glue up.
Yeah.
Get on the glue. So Ollie is just setting up the clamps.
Yeah, this is one of those jobs where you just got to try and think ahead, run through what you're going to do, have a sort of a dry run of the clamping, because once you've got glue everywhere, you really don't want to be and think actually that doesn't work or that clamp doesn't fit there, or you've got to take it apart again. Just want to be able to get it right first time, really.
So as we're putting another 2 special chains in, obviously we've got 12 chains here. We're going to do 2 lots of 6, aren't we?
That's it, yeah. So we'll clamp them all up as a whole block, but we'll just leave. We won't put a glue joint in that middle piece.
Yeah.
So later on we can just take that apart, stick our chain in it this evening, and put it back together again.
Cool. So what's the next process then, mate? Just getting a load of glue on it?
Get a few more clamps. Just want to get this evened out a bit.
What glue will we be using though today?
I'll tell you what. Give me a minute. I've got something real special.
Have you got the stuff?
Well, it's the stuff, but it's the stuff. So hang on.
It's the stuff. It's the stuff of champions.
So previously we've been using, obviously Type Bond 3 Ultimate Wood Glue.
I believe that's rated #1 by professionals, by pros.
So, Type Bond 3 Ultimate Wood Glue, rated #1 by pros. Waterproof, exterior, interior, super strength, longer assembly time, water cleanup. We're going to need all those things. But today, we've got an ultimate jug of Type Bond 3.
Oh my
So
God.
we're going to need lots of it.
Now, is that food safe?
Still is, still food
Still
safe.
food safe.
It's just in a bigger, non-toxic water cleanup
That
jug.
must mean it's better if it's in bigger.
I think so. I think it means we can use more of it.
Bigger is better.
So I'm just making a bit of an effort to get this all square. We'll have to do this again when we put the glue around it and get it back in the clamps. But I'm just trying to sort of plan ahead, do a bit of a dry run through what we're going to do. I'm going to get some clamps on top of this too. Then we'll mark out where everything's got to go. I like to just have it all clear so it's completely laid out before me for when we glue it, so there's no mistakes.
Spot on, mate, that is. I mean, that looks great as it is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay then, Ollie, ready for the race, yeah? It's a race against time, isn't it?
I mean, just to give you an idea, you know, we spent, what, half an hour just setting this up?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we have to do a dry run. There's so many things we just got to make sure that are going to work first time. The lovely thing about Type Bond 3 wood glue, rated #1 by pros, yeah, we've got a giant jug in today as well because we're going to use so much of it. Lovely thing about it, it's got a good open time, which means that, you know, you've got a little bit longer to get the glue down before it's starting to go off.
Yeah, cool.
But it's, you know, there's a lot of wood here to glue, so we need to make sure we're not like messing around with clamps and things, trying to get them right, you know, set up right and clamp down before, you know, while all that's going on. So
you're going to drizzle the mayo on and I'm going to dress it, yeah?
That's it, yeah.
And then you'll slide it in. We've got to remember after the 6th one, it's dry because we're doing 2 lots of 6.
That's it. I think I wrote on there that not to glue it, but we probably will end up doing it, won't we?
Well, we'll see.
We'll try
There's only one way
to.
to find out, brother. Let's go for it.
We've got the top off now.
Mayo, sir? Yes, Bars.
Right, if you want to load up the brush with what's on there to start with, then.
Do you mean by? Yeah, I see what you mean.
Suck it all up, and we'll have to just start again with that.
Suck it up, Buttercup. Yeah. Okay. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, let me stick a little bit more on. Then I know this looks like a lot, but
it's got a lot of area to cover, though.
Yeah,
hasn't it?
it has. It's got a. I like to see a bit of squeeze out on it. You know, it means we've got it right to the edges. It's, you know, right down to the edges are glued. You know, we don't want to be having to cut this right back until we've got a good joint.
No.
We want it.
Are you happy with that, mate?
That looks good. That looks good.
Yeah.
Nicely buttered, that is, isn't it?
Yeah. It's lovely. Just get some ham on there now.
Yeah.
And rotate into the block.
First brick laid. Look at that.
How exciting. Really must get out more.
Hey, when you put this much time and effort into it, though, to actually get the first one in like that, it's quite a relief, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we'd be doing this morning, would we?
I mean, it's a long way from that video, you know, that do you accept the challenge, and more for you for saying yeah. But, you know, you can see the work that's gone into it. I mean, both of our hands, this is going to be around for a long time, you know. And hopefully some of you guys and gals might get to see it in the flesh.
So as I'm going along, I hope you can pick all this up. I'm just going to try and keep this square and level all the way through as we put it together.
Like we were saying, there's a really cool bit going in the middle, isn't there, mate? We won't give it away, but there's even some wood out of Worcester Cathedral, isn't there?
That's it. It's going to have a bit of history, a bit of heritage.
And a bit of love. Okay?
Now, I mean, you know, for the astute of you watching, you know, you'll see that this workshop's really mainly set up for doing metalwork. But that's not to say that you can't do this in here too. I normally do a lot of this at home. I mean, the glue ups, ideally you can leave overnight. So, you know, I'll spend my evenings gluing up boards, getting all the clamps all set up, ready to go. I say to my wife, she said, do you want to watch Game of Thrones tonight? I say, no, let's do a glue up, and you know, we can have a bit of a social and a catch up like we are having now, really.
So you're basically saying you and your wife get on the glue at night, yeah? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't basically say that, no. But that's you saying that.
Sorry, yeah. I know what
you've already got me into trouble.
He's a bad boy, you know. Just some mustard on there now. This is the sixth one.
So we've got to stick the next one in without any glue on.
Yeah.
And don't get any fingerprints on it either, because it will stick. And we will be sanding again.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Up to the edges. Is that all right your end, mate?
Don't want to upset the glue Nazis?
No. No. God. Like a Jackson Pollock.
I don't know that one.
50s artist. Splatter painting artist. A little bit of culture.
It's a shame actually that piece wasn't on the outside, a bit of knotting.
It's a bit late now. It's very therapeutic, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. It's
Very
nice. It's a nice way to spend your evening, actually.
Yeah, on the glue.
Yeah.
We put some serious man hours into this and some serious labour, haven't we, really?
I think so. I've stopped counting, actually.
Yeah, don't count too much.
I know not to do it again, anyway.
Remember when at the start I asked you, you know, one of those projects that you wish you'd never said yes to? Do you still feel the same?
No, I mean, if it was me doing all that sanding and not you, I might have done, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know.
The sanding and the planing. How's that, mate? Shall I go and wash this brush out?
In a bit, yeah, it'll be right.
Yeah?
It'll be right for a little bit. Just to open that clamp up. You're stuck. You seem to have grown.
Man, that glue's good and thick.
Oh, I've got a sticky clamp as well. There you go.
In.
Oh, look at that. There's suction on there. Oh, I can't even move it. Let's just give it a... That will do, because a lot of that's scraped off. We'll just give that one more go. I'll have a fiddle around with the clamp here.
Give it another coat, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a shame for that to...
Fall off.
Yeah.
Some serious surface tension there, isn't there?
Yeah. Okay, mate. You happy with that?
Yeah. Take two. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay, right, so I'm going to nip these clamps up. Not too tight because I want to be able to move the blocks around if need be. The important thing as well is to get this reasonably flat. So if you see it picking up on one corner or anything like that, you need to hammer it back down again.
The hide mallet.
That one will do.
So, do we want to be giving this a tap now, gently or not?
Yeah, you can go over every one, just give it a...
To get it sitting on that.
If you want to get the edges now.
Yeah.
So leave that end piece. Just whack them.
So tell me.
A bit more on that one, yeah. Keep going on that one. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, work your way across. You're good now until the last three. Last two. Keep going, keep going, keep going. That's about it, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We can go down again.
Sitting in the clamps nicely. So, what did we say? Half an hour preparation.
Yeah.
And we still had a bit of a flap then just then, I think, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not always plain sailing when you're clamping. You know, these are big, there's a lot of surface area with glue on, and they don't want to play a game all the time. You know, if you think some of these blocks might be might be slightly wedge shaped as well. You know, just inadvertently where we've sanded by hand.
Yeah.
You know, come off the saw, which is actually brilliant for the strength. You know, to have them slightly, you know, in and out is fantastic. It means they're all just locked together really nicely. But it does mean that when you put the clamps on, it's going to try and squirt some of the blocks out the middle.
We're all nice and flat everywhere.
We did have a bit of that, didn't we? We're all nice and flat now. I mean, I know these bits sticking out, that's all good. The important thing is flatten the bottom.
Yeah, because we're going to be routing it.
Yeah,
anyway,
so we can sort of start off with something half good. I'll put the square on it. I think it's a bit too late to do anything about it now if it's not square. But, oh, we're nearly there. Let's try the other way. We are a little bit wide in places, but it's... so we go. Let's see if we can beat some of those in.
It's going.
That's probably as good as... I don't want to hit it too much harder. Yeah, that's not far off. I mean, you know, it might just mean we're shaving.
Take a
shaving
way
with
for
5 mil off the end of it again. You won't notice that.
But all we, you know, when it comes out, it'll just be. It's moving is one hole, I think, isn't it now?
I mean, that piece sticking out looks like an old joint we just left over.
Yeah.
You know, we know one side is going to be needs trimming off completely anyway because we've only rough cut them to length.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's carry on with a bit more clamping pressure then. Let's keep adding them.
Scary.
You right just holding that up?
Yeah, of course I will, mate.
Hold it up there. You see a bit of squeeze out? So
yeah.
We're doing it right.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
This is a bit of a wimpy clamp compared to the others, really.
Yeah. Well, you built the others, didn't you? So spot on.
Now this is where these big clamps come into play, really. I mean, I know that they're a fiddle and they take a lot of setting up, but you know, if you're doing this commercially, you'd be wanting to put this in a hydraulic press, really.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't have time for lots of clamps, and the off-the-shelf clamps don't give as much, anywhere near as much pressure as these big threaded clamps do. So this is really kind of what they're built for.
Have you got to give it much more tension now, mate? Or
yeah, we'll just go over each of them because as the as we go around clamping,
Sure,
so the others sort of start to come loose again.
Yeah. When do you stop though, mate? When?
Well, that's a good question. Normally you can just keep going round and you'll find that you can just keep on and on.
Do you want me to hold that?
Yeah, please, if you would. You just keep on tweaking.
Yeah, I'll try and hold that.
And eventually you just won't get any feedback from the clamps.
Yeah.
That's kind of a good time to stop. I mean, if you're playing it by the book, you're supposed to actually come back to them later on and have another go round again. Yeah. But we'll be right with this. You know, it's not a big blow up really, in the scheme of things. You actually grab that. That's it.
Yeah, you happy with that one?
Yep.
Which one you on? The
middle one now.
Middle one?
Yeah, is it trying to move? Or is
no, it's a bit nicely in there, that has. Yeah, that's beautiful in there, mate.
It might chew up the board a little bit. I've all got rounded edges on the clamp, so it shouldn't do too much damage.
Yeah.
But you know, bear in mind this has all got to be sanded up again.
Yeah, of course,
anyway,
and routed up. And
yeah. You want just grabbing that end?
Yeah.
If we could find where the other spanners have run off to. Yeah, I'll just tweak that back again. Oh, that's good.
That's a bit nice, yeah.
I mean, this is starting to look like some crazy science experiment, isn't it?
Absolute mad. But the thing is, I can actually see the butcher's block in it now.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, when we route it and you've oiled it, it's just going to be something else, isn't it?
Just give that a whack down it.
I'm surprised it can take this much pressure.
Oh, it'll take a lot more.
Yeah. That's under a lot of pressure, isn't it?
Yeah.
You tightening that still, yeah?
Yeah, that's still going. Okay, I think that's probably this point.
That's it.
Stop now.
Yeah, you happy with that?
Yeah, you can see the clamps are bending now.
Look at that. That's just mad.